We're good? Amen. This public hearing is in behalf of High Praise Outreach Ministries, 301 East 9th Street, Michigan City, Indiana, 46360. And High Praise Outreach Ministries, we invite all community members to participate in this public hearing to discuss a proposal for a state grant through the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs construction grant. And the proposed project will support the development of a mixed-use community facility designed to serve LaPorte County residents, churches, civic organizations, and families. And so that is what this hearing is about today. We need everybody. If you have not signed in, the sign-in sheet, we're trying to pass that around. We need everybody to sign in and make sure everybody is accounted for. What we need tonight, and this is one of the reasons we have that mic right there, and eventually you're going to have to turn it on. We need some ideas on how we can meet needs in this city, not just spiritual needs, but actual natural needs. And I'm going to say this, and then we're looking to hear your opinion. We need to hear your opinion. So some folk, amen, we need to hear from you all on what we need as residents in the city. And so we're going to try to meet that need. And we're moving into a place where we're not just going to be a church, but we're going to be a community center for Michigan City. Now, these are just some of the facts, you know, that I'm going to throw out there, and then I'm going to need some input from you all. Michigan City is 85% retail. And if we really do the breakdown and do the math, a lot of us in this city is living in that area of the poverty guidelines. And so if everybody's 85% of the people in Michigan City is making, what, $13, $14 an hour, we could just do the math. Say, for instance, the average rent now is what? $1,200 a month. Average NIPSCO bill, average water bill, and so on. If we did the math, they say that most churches will not be able to survive in the future based off this city being 85% retail. People don't even really have money to be able to give. And so we want to be a help in this city knowing these facts, that 85% of this city is retail. A lot of people don't have money for different things. And so we want to, in a sense, bridge the gap as a ministry. We don't want to just meet the spiritual needs, but we want to be able to meet the natural needs. And so one of the first things I thought of is like child care. You know, a lot of people can't afford, really, child care. And I know some have, you know, got on the voucher program, and maybe somebody can, you know, really talk about that and what that means. But we want to be able to bridge the gap in some areas and be able to help in that area. And then not just that area, there's just another suggestion that I had. I want to, and y'all know kind of the vision that I have, threefold, not just building a church, but building a reception hall and building a gymnasium. Okay, how can that help? Most reception halls, and anybody, I know I got a couple of people, Zania probably the last one to be married. And most of these reception halls start off at 10 grand just to rent for one day. And so if we get our own reception hall, in a sense, we can help that community that can't afford to pay those prices. We can help them, and we can come in at a lower cost and be able to help them. And then at the same time, I want to be able to employ like teenagers that live in single family homes where just the mother working or just the father, and they need help with income. We can employ them and we can train them, in certain. I had even a suggestion about, and I don't see her yet, a nonprofit restaurant within that. Up and Smoke, another part of them having a nonprofit restaurant where they get to train the teenagers as cooks and waitresses and pay them, so they can help their mother, they can help their homes, where they need help. So we need some suggestions because we're trying to do something in this city that nobody's not doing. And we're just trying to meet a need in our community. So if anybody have any suggestions, you can come up to this mic and share something that we possibly can do in the near future, building this community center.
Hi, my name is Azania Farmer, and I am a special education teacher for Michigan City Area Schools. And I think that the community could use several different branches or umbrellas under the educational realm. One, I could see the need for the community dealing with children with special needs, like autism and nonverbal children, having community resources and outlets to help families learn how to apply for beads and Medicaid and different resources that can benefit the family from having those resources. I also think that the community could benefit from daycares, having a Christian daycare that children can go to, level 4 preschools. I also think that the community could benefit from tutoring, having after-school tutoring after school, giving grants that the program could be free to the community, and with the grants they could pay for teachers or for school materials. And my last, under the educational realm, we could have a community organization that could help people get their GEDs and also help students prep for SAT and ACT. In this area, we don't have any community-based programs that helps children learn how to properly take the test, and I think that will help our community get more students engaging with going to college and college visits. Thank you.
Amen. That sounds good. Thank you. Can you come? Please say your name.
Hello, my name is LaShonda Hawkins. I'm an entrepreneur here in Michigan City. I have a child care facility, 3 of them located in Michigan City. And just to piggyback off of Azania, we understand that we have a lot of child care facilities. We want to get out of the word of daycare and go into the word of child care. But we have a lot of child care facilities already here. But as I was sitting back there this evening, I received a call from DCF. DCF periodically calls me and asks me if I can take foster kids. It would be great to use that facility in partnership with the DCF so that if in the middle of the night, like today, this evening, when I received a call that there's 2 kids that immediately need child care with no voucher, no financial, that we can take them in. So I think we could do something different than just basic childcare, that we see a lot of that in Michigan City, in partnership with the DCF, and take those foster kids. Another idea that I thought about is apprentice programs. In the past, Michigan City had it where our high schoolers could go to like the AKA Smith building, and we could also partnership with them as well, where they can get their barbers. We have barbers that are in our church that that's their profession. We can partnership with those young people that are in school who desire to be barbers, can start early and start getting their hours and come right into our church and be able to do that, and then be able to grab that I don't know what, licensings, that barber license. Also, in my experience, even with my father's children, I never forget when he found himself in a situation with the law and could not find a job. And so he went to be a barber, because that's something that we see a lot. A lot of people need a second chance. They've had felonies and they get out here and they don't know how to find a job. We can offer where they can become barbers or non-traditional work, where they can start a career and have a job, because as we know, going into corporate America with a felony is not the easiest thing to do. So I suggest some apprentice programs as far as barbers, as far as culinary with Up and Smoke, doing some partnerships with that, where they could, get certain credit hours, maybe combining with PNC, where those hours will be accepted, and so that they can, go on to school. That's I think would be a good thing to do, some apprentice programs. Also, I would suggest some type of technology. I find it that a lot of times, being a child care provider, everything is now computer-based. And a lot of my parents, they use their phones, and you can't see the whole screen. So at this point, a lot of them don't know how to go and recertify anymore, because in the past they did it on paper, but now the future requires that it's done on a computer. So I think it'd be really good to have a lab where we're teaching these things, such as how to do your e-signature. What is an e-signature? Even going back to teaching our children who did not learn how to sign their name in cursive, because we no longer do that. What is e-sign? How do I fill out my application online? How do I fill out my FAFSA? A lot of us don't realize that school is still free. It's still free, but a lot of children and parents don't know that, because we don't have places like we used to have. I forget what it's called. Help me, First Lady. Eli Center, I forget, it was some center that we had where when we wanted to go to school, there were people there that walked us step by step so that we can make that transition from high school on to college. I think a lot of our individuals now don't realize that, yes, you still can go to school. So that's something that I think that we can bring into our multicultural facet building. As far as I was thinking about even with the venues, we have a lot of nonprofit organizations, like the Adams House, for example, that have great events. And as we know, it's $10,000, $15,000 to be able to rent a venue to give these great events. It would be really nice for us to be able to offer to our nonprofit organizations that are up and coming to be able to have their great events at our facility at a fraction of the cost. Because I think that as a city, we want to put on more social events, more community events, more events where we can come together, but it's challenging when we don't have the funding to be able to pay for the venues to do it. So I think that we can also tap into that. And I did list just a few ideas of some things that we can do in the community just to make a difference, the little things. And I passed this sheet out for you all to look at. We can do some job skill training workshops. The farmer's market, currently right now, our own Azania has a garden that's like literally growing. We are back at that place where we're gonna have to start growing our own vegetables. We may not realize that, but we are there. And I think it would be really super cool to invite some of the child care facilities and even some of the schoolings to come and be a part of that, to get in the garden with us and to be able to learn about, you know, the garden. So that I think currently right now in Michigan City, we may have only 3, but they're very small. So if we're able to get a large land, we can really feed a large amount of people, and we can do it from the ground. And so I think that will be a great addition. Also, the arts. I know that our First Lady has worked with the Labasnik Center. We really want to be able to educate our kids on the arts. We have a lot of children that are very talented in drawing and things of that nature and don't realize that they can make a career out of that it pays good money. So we have a lot of those gifts where a lot of our children think that the only thing they can use, say for example, their arts for is doing tattoos, and that's far from the truth. And so that's another way. But there's a list of different things here that I pass out with Pastor, and I'll let someone else read some of those ideals of some community collaborations and some activities that we can begin to do in the community.
Thank you. Next.
How you doing? My name is Elder Carl Blakely. I'm a member here at High Praise Outreach Ministries. I used to be over the men's department here, and one thing that I noticed that we did not have, and we bless God for our First Lady with the DAP program, but we didn't really have a Big Brother program for the young men. And in this Big Brother program, I suggest that we are able to teach them some life skills, hygiene, just basically getting them prepared for, you know, some might want to consider marriage or whatever. It's just really a Big Brother mentoring where we are able to take them maybe out of town. Some young men have never been outside of Michigan City, where we're able to maybe do a trip here or whatever we're doing, just pouring back into them, giving them skills. You know, I'm also a barber, I'm also a musician. Just kind of pulling out of the young people, young men, whatever's in them. And as well, somehow maybe branching it over into the homeless men, whereas they can, if they don't have a skill, maybe help them even get skills. So not just for the young men, but if maybe we can even push it even to helping some homeless men so they can even be able to get jobs.
Question before you sit down, and we thank you for that. But as LaShonda was talking a little while ago, we're also looking for partnerships, and we know that you own your own barbershop. How could you partner with us to help young men that want to get in that field? How could you help them?
So this is where this would be a part of the mentoring. I could volunteer some time, a couple other barbers that I know, and we can kind of try to help groom them to see if, give them basic skills of basic haircut, what a basic haircut look like. Sometimes I go up to the A.K. Smith Center sometimes, and I help out with her program to help. So I've done this before, helping mentor young people into whatever skill set they want to go into. And as far as with the barbering, I would set up a model. I would cut the head, and then I would give them an opportunity to kind of learn some things over time, and just to help develop them, even if it's just grooming yourself, so you know how to groom yourself. So I would be willing to be one of the mentors.
And to add to that, I have a question. Are you credentialed to give barber's license?
No, I am not.
Okay.
They have to get 1,500 hours through an accredited barber school.
So what we need to do to get you in as a, what do we need to do to get you in school to be a whole barber school?
Well, the good thing is when you're opening up a barbering school, you don't have to have necessarily, my wife can come. You don't necessarily have to have a barber's license to open up a barber school, but you do have to have licensed barber teachers to teach in the school.
But you're a licensed barber, so you can teach.
No, I would have to go to school to get 900 more hours.
It's close to
This is my wife, Tamisha Blakely. She's a nail tech as well.
it's close to 1,000 hours to become an instructor. An accredited school
In order to get an accredited school, you really only need somebody that is licensed as whatever their profession is. And honestly, they don't need to be necessarily licensed, but you have to have a licensed barber, either a licensed beautician or a licensed nail tech through the state of Indiana, and someone who would be willing to run it. There are different regulations that you would need to have for the building, but the licensing would be about 1,000 hours, close to 1,000 hours, and up to maybe $15,000 to become an instructor, either a barber culture. Now it is barber culture, beauty culture, whether it is nail tech, whether it is cosmetology, or barbering or esthetician.
Gotcha. So to be an actual instructor, you have to go put in hours for instructing.
Yes. And they do have apprentice schools where you could actually cut hair, become an instructor, and teach on the floor while getting your hours.
Gotcha.
But you do have to already have gotten your 1,500 hours as a barber or a stylist, then go back for the instructor, which would be another added 1,000 hours.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Please state your name.
Hello, everybody. I'm Devin Higginbotham, Michigan City resident. What I feel would be needed in Michigan City through this community that we could bless the community with is more workshops. There's not many workshops for children or young people or even anybody of any age throughout Michigan City. I'm a diesel mechanic by trade. I'm really good with my hands, plumbing, mechanics, electrical, automotive stuff, anything of that nature I'm pretty well with. I'm thankful for the career that I have, and I know there are a lot of young men that are seeking a solid foundation when it comes to career. There's so many jobs out here with not many careers that people are taking that opportunity to grab. So what I feel would be necessary or would be definitely beneficial to this community would be just a space for workshops. So I'd be able to teach kids how to work on cars, how to change their brakes, how to do the basic mechanics, welding, electrical, stuff of that nature. I went to A.K. Smith as a high schooler, and I'm glad I did. I went to trade school for college, and I'm glad I did. A lot of these people coming out of Michigan City aren't going to have the opportunity to make it to a trade school, an opportunity, the finances, the scholarships to make it to an actual college that's accredited. But when I took on the job that I took on now as a diesel mechanic, experience trumps education, it seems like. So to be able to have experience as a 19, 20, 21, 22-year-old, knowing how to repair stuff as a repairman, jobs and employers are going to look at that over, okay, you have this degree. My degree took me far, but the experience is going to take you further.
So my question to you is kind of like the same question I asked Carl Blakely. So these young boys that go through if they go through and you teach them all of this, are you credentialed to give them certificates in this trade?
So don't quote me, but I believe as to be an instructor, you just have to have a bachelor's degree. I do have my bachelor's. It doesn't matter which bachelor's. It's not a bachelor's in teaching, but I do have a bachelor's in technology, so everything I would be teaching is what I received in school for myself. Like Elder Carl said, like the A.K. Smith, they have multiple programs. They have, welding, they have automotive, they have mortician school, they have barbershops, they have CNA. They have everything that everyone a part of this ministry, we're already working it. We already know it. So to be able to be a blessing and help the actual community within, we feel even better.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Crystal. I am a resident here in Michigan City. I propose that we, for this new center, that we make it a place that is more like a volunteer hub, a place that even where transitioning inmates can also come to do volunteer hours, to do any kind of community work, because in light of, various workshops being proposed and, licensures and certifications being proposed for the center, it can be a great opportunity for people who need volunteer hours or like I said, even inmates who need a easy transition back into society to prove that, hey, I'm doing something productive with my life. I'm going to be going to High Praise to get, welding certification, or I'm going to become a barber or esthetician, or I want to, do mechanics or technician. So I believe that this center would give a good opportunity for those who may have been incarcerated to make an easy transition back into society, because now they're actually going to be putting their hands to something, and it may not necessarily be towards a career, but it can be towards, just getting back into society, getting back into the work field, and being productive. So I do propose that High Praise be a volunteer hub for those who are incarcerated and who want to make a transition back into society.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the participation tonight.
Hi, my name is Kim Lee, and I'm a financial center manager of a bank. And one of the major things that plague not only our community here in Michigan City, but a lot of different communities is financial literacy. You can go from any ages, from the babies all the way up into our elderly, and they have issues, problems, trouble, fraud, and understanding what you should do in terms of banking, how you should save, and how to prepare for different life events that can come at you. And it's not until we get that financial education out to the community that we can prevent some of the pitfalls that happen. One of the things that affects Michigan City and our community is lack of home ownership, and education about home ownership really later in life. So just not only educating our older residents, but even the younger residents. There's so many people that I sit with daily. My office is in Gary, Indiana, but even when I was local in Michigan City, Indiana, I have people in their 30s and 40s and say, hey, why did no one teach me these things while I was in high school or while I was in school? Why didn't I learn these things when I was in my 20s? And unfortunately, when we start some of the education 20 years too late, it puts us behind the 8 ball in the things that we could have done to help us be better off financially.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Kim Lee.
Hi, my name is Diamond Howe. I'm a special education teacher, primarily focuses on autism and mild intellectual disabilities. Something that I think would be really beneficial to our community would be mental health services that focuses both on adults and youth and adolescents. I think my heart is with the youth just because I work with kids, and I think a lot of times mental health is kind of overlooked in children because they're younger, but our youth, they are really struggling with mental health issues, from being out in the community to dealing with things at home. And so I think if they have an outlet or somewhere to come where they can receive those resources, that it would be really beneficial. Another thing that I think would really help would be someone to teach new parents and new moms, especially single moms, to give them resources. I think a lot of new mothers don't really know about CCDF or how to apply for WIC, how to get insurance for your babies, and how long those things really last. So to have someone that's knowledgeable on that and to be able to teach these new parents so they don't have to start off in the hole when they are beginning a family. That's it.
That's good. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Erica Miller, and just to kind of piggyback on what, yeah, that would help, wouldn't it? what Kim Lee spoke about with financial education and also the housing aspect. I don't think I heard the credit, but credit should pair with that. And that is really important because by the time we normally see them start thinking about home ownership, the credit is an issue, which really sets them back. So just that financial responsibility, being responsible with your credit from a young age, how to build it, and so you're prepared for that ownership later on in life and just life in general. And I think also with all the volunteer opportunities that will come with the center, maybe thinking of some type of program to where you can work so many hours to get a voucher that will go towards housing. So like there's different financial institutions usually have some type of down payment assistance program, but there tend to be a lot of barriers that kind of prevent them from getting that money at times from what we see. So every little bit helps. So if they put in so many hours towards the different centers or whatever will be attached to the community center, that can get them a voucher to go towards that purchase, or whether it's rental, you know, putting those parameters in there. And I think that's it. I forgot. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Janika Hawkins. I'm a Michigan City resident and a long-term member of High Praise Outreach Ministries. First thing I would like to say is that the leaders that are proposing this center are true leaders in this community. They have led us and this community in nothing but upwards. Me and my husband, Edwin Hawkins, are the owners and operators of Up and Smoke MC, a restaurant, you know, right here located in Michigan City, serve the community. We would like to see a center with a nice kitchen. A kitchen that we can teach our young people how to cook, what to cook, healthy eating habits. Our leaders emphasize a lot on healthy marriages bring healthy churches together. We would like to teach the women, you know, what it takes to get to a man's heart, and that's through his stomach.
Come on here.
And it, you know, it just goes along with, you know, Sister Zania, you know, Elder LaShonda on, you know, growing the food, you know, teaching them how to grow it, you know, the proportion sizes. You know, we would love to have a catering center, you know, to cater these events that come through this facility as an event center. We don't want to just, you know, give the event. We want to be able to host the entire event. So I'm 3 years licensed in, not degree, but, you know, self-taught and schooling of interior design. So that goes along with the event center, with decorating, what you know, we need for hospitality, you know, checklist of, you know, what's needed for catering. And so I, you know, support and, you know, propose that we, you know, this center will be very healthy to our community in the food service. We can bring in the high school students, you know, train them, you know, have a nonprofit organization for that, teaching them, you know, whatever it is that we need to know about our bodies. You know, our First Lady is almost a registered nurse. You know, we implement the food with the diet. And so this center, I think, will be a great aspect to, you know, an opportunity for our community center and for our leaders and this ministry to move forward.
Question, and we just recently found out some information, and we were wondering, would you consider with this new facility opening up a second location, non-profit restaurant to train cooks, and it will be ran like your other restaurant, but to train cooks, train waiters, waitresses, preparation for life, giving the teenagers jobs. Would you be considerate of doing something like that?
I definitely would, and I would love to be considered to be sent back to school so that way, we can, do these instructions and do it correctly. I don't want to teach anybody the wrong way.
Gotcha.
So I would, like to be sent back to school if that would be a part of the nonprofit organization to further my education in food and nutrition. So yes, I would.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Tamisha Blakely again. I thought about when I went to school, I've been a CNA for also 18 years now, almost 19 years now. And when I went to school as a CNA, one of my friends was a registered nurse. And she had her own company. And so we have a first lady that is about to be a registered nurse. And we also have a registered nurse in the facility. And we have an LPN. And I would renew my CNA license. So we already have the staff that we need to open up a facility to teach them to train CNAs, which is one of the first stops that students typically make when they're coming out of high school before going into nursing. So, and that is, it's a profitable business, but also for nonprofits, it helps the community be able to train CNAs. You have some children who don't necessarily want to go straight to college, but they would rather work. And so CNA is a trade, and it's something that, we already have. So.
Thank you. Thank you. Next.
Hi, my name is Justine Williams. I currently work for the Michigan City Area School System with the LaPorte County Career and Technical Education Programs. So a lot of the things that you guys have mentioned, I have extensive knowledge in those things, as far as the barbering that you mentioned, the farming, which would fall under the umbrella of agriculture. One of the things that I think would really benefit this community would be some mental health things that Diamond, I think, mentioned. Offering accessible mental health is dire in this community. It's something that isn't easily attainable. So having that for all ages in a community, easily accessible, would be immensely important. And partnering with community Christian-based, if possible, counselors would be beneficial. I had a couple of things that I had here. Family and parenting support, family resource and support hub, offering parent support with diapers, parenting, financial workshops. Partnering with local family service agencies would be beneficial. Single parent empowerment circles, faith-based small community, any budgeting and teaching parents how to deal with their children and their behaviors that they exhibit. Health screenings. Partnering with the Christian counselors, support groups such as grief, trauma, and healing for young adults.
Thank you. Thank you. That was good. Anyone else? Anyone else? Come on.
Thank you, sir. I'm Kurt Gillespie, resident of Michigan City as well. I kind of was creating a list. I was just listening to everybody else and kind of created a list of things that I thought about that was kind of overlooked. Arbria wasn't here, so one thing that I thought about that we've been seeing a lot of was a gym or a workout facility for fitness classes, nutrition classes, partnership with local clinics for screenings, blood drives, and mobile health units. I also work in the financial industry, and we're always looking for spaces to have like financial workshops, real estate seminars, and things of that nature. building will benefit that greatly as well. I'm also a licensed real estate instructor, so um, I can license new agents as well, real estate agents. There was a couple of more things I thought about. Helping with resume writing, job interview coaching, business startup and entrepreneur seminars. Another big thing is pop-up shops. We see a lot of that around the building. Will be helpful. We have a lot of entrepreneurs, not only in the ministry, but in the city, to have the building, invite the whole city out, set up, sell your product. That'd be something great. So that's just a couple of things I thought of.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we got a lot of entrepreneurs in here like myself, okay? So one of the things that I think will help us so that we can start implementing all of these great ideas as entrepreneurs is, first of all, taking our profit businesses and adding an entity on of non-for-profit, so that we're able to get the funding that you're going to be able to offer as a nonprofit organization. So I think that's important that I wouldn't say I'm prepared to teach that. I'm in courses for that because I want to know more about how to start up a business. What is an EIN number? What is a CPA? Should I be a sole proprietor? Should I be LLC? I think those things would be really, really good because we're living in a world now where everybody wants their own business. But the problem is that when good grants and things come around, we don't qualify for them because we don't have our credentials in order. We don't have a CPA. We didn't file our taxes properly. We don't have a 941. So automatically we're X'd out of those grants. So I think it would be very good since we see so much of entrepreneurness in Michigan City and LaPorte County area to educate on what it's going to take to run a business the proper way, business accounts, where our own Sister Kim can explain to us what kind of business accounts should I have. Should I pay myself? And these are the loopholes that hold us back into being these big organizations or big entrepreneurs because we're doing it, as we would say, through the back door, because we just don't know. And so I think that would be very, very good to be able to get some knowledge about how to go about being an entrepreneur and to take our for-profit businesses right now, add an entity on of a non-for-profit business and get the proper CPA that we need, an accountant, taxes, and make sure that everything is lined up so we're not leaving any funding on the table.
Thank you. Yeah. Give her a hand.
Hi, my name is Sheena Fleming. I'm a Michigan City resident, but I also play basketball at the collegiate level. And I know that the gym downstairs that you guys currently have has come and helped me at times when the gym isn't open for me to get a good workout in. So I do know how important a gym and a workout facility could be for Michigan City. And I know as an athlete myself, coming back from the summer, or even just as a weekend or any type of holiday, being able to get into the gym and get a good workout in is important. So I think that would be a really good thing to have for Michigan City, and especially for the kids.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We also put it in here, part of the facility to be used for AAU practice and games, and also being a training site for youth improvement, as well as, the college level, high school. So thank you, yes.
Yeah, I agree. I think when you go to like the bigger cities, you see all the AAU programs and all the AAU buildings that they build, and you see 16 gyms in one room. And we don't have that here, and even just one or two in one gym can do so much for Michigan City, especially with the up-and-coming sports and people just figuring out what they like in sports-wise. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Well, we have our own Lady Felicia Blakely that has do community service as well as a mentorship program. So how would this new facility help with your endeavors?
Again, my name is Felicia Blakely, as he said, the president and founder of Diamonds and Pearls Mentorship Program for LaPorte County. Um, just listening to what everybody is saying, I think, because some people will argue to say that, that there are organizations out here that are already doing, some of these things or, offering this. And I know, even coming from my mentorship program, there are times where we have offered a lot of this stuff. But the problem with that is it's not a consistency in it. It's just like we offer it. It's a yearly thing, once a year we have this program where we offer this training, we offer this training. But I believe that, with this proposal for what High Praise Ministries is doing, this is something that we can offer to our community 365 days of the year. This is not, it won't just be, you come and, be able to participate in this 4-week training, but it's only offered once a year. And so I think what lack in our community, in our city, is although some of these programs are being offered, but I just feel like there is no consistency with it, even when it comes to like youth development, offering those trades. And, we see a lot of it, but again, we're not seeing it on a consistent basis. And so I think having a facility that's ready, available to be able to service our community, not just 4 weeks out of the year, but 365 days out of the year.
Yeah, thank you. In my closing, Michigan City currently faces a critical shortage of affordable, accessible indoor spaces. And one part of this is to address their nursing homes, there are different people that are handicapped that actually want to worship, but because of the stairs, because we don't have adequate, just one level, it's hard for some people to actually come. And so we want to do away with all of the steps. Community surveys indicate that a significant portion of the population has limited access to venues. And that's kind of what the young lady was saying about playing college sports when she come home for the summer. Sometimes don't have a venue where she can develop her skills. And so we want to be able to even provide that type of venue that can accommodate, important social and civic events. We want to be able to have concerts or certain things at our facility that would address something that we're not able to have in this city because we don't have a place big enough. This facility will also address the gap by providing an inclusive space for a variety of events. And so we want to open it up for the community as well. I noticed that in the past, NAACP have, for events, they have gone out to the college. And so we'll be able to meet that need as well. The High Praise Outreach Community Facility is going to be a crucial resource for Michigan City, and especially for the underserved population. This project will improve the local quality of life by providing a space for community events, increasing social engagement, and promoting fellowship. We respectfully request funding from the CDBG program to support this important initiative of High Praise Outreach Community Facility. And one of the other things that I notice as a pastor, when there are a lot of, well, not a lot, but when there are funerals, big funerals for people that have big families, there's not a church really big enough, to be able to hold for big funerals. We want to be able to meet that need, and then a place for repasts as well, where they can go and eat and won't have to drive across town to another facility. And so we want to be able to actually meet that need as well. And so I want to thank everyone that showed up, those that participated, because it's critical in this process that we know what our city need, what our church need, what our community need, and we need to hear from you all. We need your input as we seek to carry out this project. And so there's another hearing that we must do where we're going to open it up more so, not just for us, but for the community. Our mayor, chief of police, and NAACP president, different ones that we're going to invite in to show how big of a need this is in our city. So I thank you all for coming. Before we close, anybody else have any comments or input? If not, then we're done. We're going to set a date next month on a Wednesday night again for our second hearing. Thank you again. Give yourselves a